What is in front of you? What? What? Did you just have a chocolate croissant? Should we do an easy eats? Ginger Zee here in my kitchen. I'm already full because Bread's Bakery, who we are going to be baking with today, sent ahead the goal today that I will be making with Edan Leshnick, who, this is a potato and a cherry cheesecake Bourekas. My husband helped me say that because I've never had one before. So this is my first Bourekas experience, and Edan is going to get in here and help me to make it. I have to say now, I'm not joking. I have eaten more croissant today, more puff pastry than I have probably in 6 years. So thanks, Edan.
Hey.
How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Very well. I was just saying how full I am because you guys sent such a nice warm-up.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Edan. So I appreciate it. I know that you also, we have so much to talk about, but am I saying it correctly? Bourekas?
Bourekas, yeah, or you can call it Bourekas. In plural, we'll call it Bourekas.
Yeah. Now I'm hearing myself on a second. Is there a second device?
Yeah, I'm hearing myself also on a second here. Is it better now?
Yes, that's better.
Perfect.
Great. Okay, so let's get to baking, and then we'll get to talking about you. And you've had quite an adventure in baking, and you've had a lot of experiences. But right now, working at Bread's Bakery, and I'm going to tell you, I had not had the product before. Wow, I'm overwhelmed. So are my sons, my husband. Everybody is like already eating more baked goods today. So thank you.
Oh yeah, it's our pleasure. Well,
so you're going to lead me through how to make these. Oh, look at that. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we're giving you this montage of all of our products right now that we're going to, first of all, talk about and also make. And there's a lot to talk about and a lot to make. So we'll definitely get started.
Okay, do you want to get started cooking, or do you want to tell me about something there? Because I held up the two that we're making today.
Okay, yeah. I mean, let's start baking, and as we're going along, you can ask me any questions about baking, and I'll be happy to indulge.
Great. Okay, so you sent ahead. This was a great idea. You sent ahead the dough because you said you can use a store-bought pastry dough if you don't have the wherewithal to make your own, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, what we're showing is basically a version of our Bourekas. And at the same time, you could produce this with a store-bought puff pastry. I'm already going to let you know that it's never going to taste as good as a Bread's Bakery Bourekas because we use our own laminated puff pastry dough, which requires a lot of time and a lot of maneuvering and manipulation of the dough with a lot of butter. Happening, as you see in the background as well, so there's always something going on. But if you're at home and you want to make your own Bourekas and you have enough energy to make the filling but not enough energy to make the dough, then we've got the recipe for you.
Great. Okay, so this is the dough rolled out, and I kind of rolled it out probably a little too early because I think it got a little soft, but
yeah. I mean, what you could do is always put that in the fridge if it's a little too soft. But in our case, I'm gonna first start off by making the filling. The filling that I've already sent you sample.
Yes.
But I'll show how to make that filling. It's pretty easy. And then we'll go from there.
So which one are we going to make, the cheesecake or the potato first?
We're going to start with our potato first.
Okay.
All right. So I have everything that we'll need over here. And start of the dough, obviously, the potato in order to make potato Bourekas. All right. So these potatoes have been boiled and salted lightly, and this is basically fork tender.
Okay.
So it's really simple. I mean, you can leave the skin on and then peel them. You can even roast them in an oven with the skin on a bed of salt, coarse salt, and it would get like that kind of like smoky flavor, and it's really good. In this case, we boil them with the skin on, and then once they're ready and they're tender enough, we just take them out, peel them off, and then we're good to go.
Okay. So you want the, that was interesting. So you don't peel them prior. You peel them.
Yeah, we'll peel them after. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just breaking down the potatoes, and they're very soft, really easy to work with. So, potatoes. And what I'm going to do is I'm using a KitchenAid here that's fairly common in a kitchen these days. I mean, especially after this quarantine, I'm sure a lot of home bakers got themselves a KitchenAid.
Yeah, that's my next purchase. It's still on the list.
Yeah, I mean, for now you're just using your muscles, which is great.
So that's the potato, and then you've got, what was that in your hand there?
So I'm going to add some butter because potatoes are great friends with butter.
Okay. I'm putting this in the fridge, so don't mind me.
Okay, yeah. Go for it. All right. So I'm just going to let that emulsify, and the smell over here right now is great. I mean, even through the mask I can smell butter. There's nothing wrong with butter and potatoes. All right, so in goes a little bit of black pepper.
Yum. Okay.
Salt, obviously. Always you want to salt generously.
That's where all that flavor comes from.
Exactly. And nutmeg. Nutmeg enhances a lot of those flavors as well.
Huh,
Now,
that one surprised me. Okay.
Yeah. So now for our last ingredient, this is just a whole egg. Now what the egg does is it helps bind everything together. Baking, when we're dealing with anything that's going to go through a baking stage, eggs can be our worst enemy or our best friends. Now, if you put too many eggs or too much of it, you're going to get an increased volume that's going to try to explode through the oven. If you don't put enough eggs, you're not going to get the gelatinous or the cohesion through the bacon. So It's kind of a balance, and it's very hard to kind of nail that down. It's a lot of trial and error, and it's mostly error.
Okay.
All right, so in goes our egg. Now, a whole egg obviously has both the egg yolk and the egg white. The egg yolk is what contains the emulsion binding, so like the lecithin in the egg is what helps us bind the entire filling. All right, so this should be done at this point. So
Great. So it's just a mix. Okay, good. It's like a
and I
nice
don't
mashed
wanna
potato with nutmeg in it.
What's that?
It's like a mashed potato with nutmeg.
It's a mashed potato with nutmeg and a little bit of egg. I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's take this off. All right. So now Chris over here is going to help me transfer these to piping bags.
Okay, so throw that in a piping bag, and I'm lucky enough that I have mine here. I think I may have cut it a little too thin. Do you want? Oh, geez, there it goes. Do you want a pretty thin opening?
Oh, for the piping bag? Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be good. I mean, you can always cut, like, as you're making it, you can always pipe another strip if it's not enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So, we're going to move on to our cream cheese filling, or our cheesecake filling.
Okay, so now make the cream cheese filling. So this one's going to go with the cherries, with the cream cheese. So it's the two separate. We're not putting potatoes with cream cheese.
I mean, you can try and see what happens. I hear your kids like to try new things, so maybe you can give that to them. And see
they do.
Okay, so what I have here is very simple, and these ingredients are fairly simple to get. There's nothing out of the ordinary. So we're going to start off with just cream cheese, full-fat cream cheese.
Okay.
Try to use full fat when you make a filling because full fat always has some capabilities that low fat doesn't have in terms of baking quality and also in terms of flavor.
Okay.
Okay, so my cream cheese, I left it out for a little while and it's slightly softer than usual. It's not straight out of the fridge, which always helps because we're going to paddle this right now.
And how much is that? How many ounces are you doing?
This is 454, which is 1 pound, I believe.
Pound, okay.
Or 454 grams.
Got it.
Over here, we always work with grams, so making that conversion is always tricky.
Okay, hi. Brando already started to smell the food, so.
So I got my cream cheese in, and I'm just going to start paddling it on low speed. I just want to break it up and just kind of soften it a little bit. There we go.
Okay. Soften that cream cheese. And we will be posting the recipe for these, but you have to go to Brett's Bakery because nothing will be like that. I'm telling you, I believe you. The flakiest, butteriest, most delicious dough, but still, we're still going to try our own here because it's a good time to everybody to, you know, try something new. And this is certainly a new type of pastry. I don't do a lot of baking, so I don't do a lot of pastries, but.
And it's
got a little freeze. There we
it's
are.
still going to come out greater. Only ours is going to come out greater.
Good.
All right. So at this point, I can add my eggs. Now this is just one whole egg that's broken up, and I'm going to slowly add that in as it paddles. The reason why I add eggs slowly into a mixture like this is that I don't want to cause an over varying of fat. And when I do that, what happens is that your mixture will break. So instead, we're going to add this slowly as this paddles.
Now I saw that there were two spellings of Bourekas. Is it dependent on region? I just saw the B-O-U and the B-U-R.
Say that again?
I saw that there were two spellings of Boureka.
Oh.
Is there a reason, or is there a right spelling?
So in Hebrew, we always say Bourekas with the S at the end. And even one or a few can be Bourekas. So it doesn't really matter. We're probably grammatically incorrect there, but
I don't know.
as long as the Bourekas taste good.
Yes.
All right. So everything is paddled. You see, I stopped that for a second just to show you. I'm now going to add freshly zested lemons, or basically a zest of one lemon.
Yum.
And in my opinion,
And that'll kind of make everything pop, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think that lemon zest is great with any kind of cheese filling. So next what we're going to do is I got a beautiful vanilla bean over here. And these might be a little difficult to come across at any store. You can use vanilla paste.
Okay.
We prefer to use vanilla beans just because the flavor is a little more subtle and it's less processed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to just split this up right down the middle. And it's hard to see, but all of our flavor is located in here. See that?
I don't think I've ever used a real vanilla bean, so this is exciting to watch.
You know what these look like when they're first picked off from the tree?
No.
Off from the plant? They're green.
Ah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to mix that up.
Mm-hmm. And if you're just joining us, there is a question mark symbol on the bottom left. You can ask questions, and I can put them up on the screen as we go, just if you guys have any questions about what's going on.
All right, so now our vanilla and our lemons are incorporated. Now the last thing that I'm going to add, and this is also another thing we were talking about, as opposed to eggs, there's another ingredient here, which is cornstarch, which helps bind our filling very well as well, and helps us with some baking capabilities. So everything's going to go in at once. There's a little bit of cornstarch and a little bit of powdered sugar.
You knew you had to get that sweetness in there. Powdered sugar is such a magical ingredient that way.
It is a magic, yeah. All right, just mix that up. And we don't want to overload it with sugar because, again, we want, the flavor of the cheese, the flavor of the zest, the flavor of the vanilla to come through more so than the sugar.
If you are just joining us, this is what the end product is going to look like, and we are making these right now. Edan is making the filling for the cheesecake, and we're going to be leading everybody through how to make them at home. So you're just jumping in. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this.
All right. So our filling is almost made. If you notice, there's still some lumps, so I'm just going to finish this off with the rubber spatula.
Okay. And so someone's asking which region this recipe is from. Is there a specific?
The cheesecake cherry Bourekas?
Or either?
I think Boureka is a mesh of so many different regions. There are so many variations for every culture that involve a puff pastry and some type of filling. Whether it's spanakopita for the Greeks, whether it's a galacto Boureka, which is, or the Turkish make their own Bourekas. There's a Turkish Boureka. Yeah. And then there's an Israeli Boureka, which is kind of a mesh of a lot of things, and there's a lot of fillings that go from, I've seen Gotti, our owner, he made the shrimp Boureka the other day, and I heard that was a hit. I didn't get to try it, but I heard it was a hit. All right.
And so the ones we're making now are considered traditional because anything could be traditional flavor.
I mean, I would say the concept is traditional, but in a way the fillings and what we're doing right now, even with the potato Bourekas and even with the cheesecake Bourekas, they are takes or a modern take on something that's more traditional.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, so at this point, we're ready to go.
Okay.
Our fillings have been made, and now we're going to get our puff pastry dough out from the fridge.
All right, that I can do again.
Yeah. As you can see in the background, as we're talking, we're going to show you the production. So we got some vodka going on over here, which is going on every day, all day. You see the Nutella pouring out.
Ooh. Look at that. What's that going to be?
That's going to be chocolate vodka.
Nationwide shipping.
Yeah, we do ship these nationwide, so you can get these anywhere across the U.S. Within 24 hours of your delivery.
So they just go to breadsbakery.com, I take it?
Yes. Yeah, we ship through Gold Belly, and you can get it from our website. So.
Cool.
Chocolate vodka happening. We're also going to show you some arugula.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I have. Those little things. Oh my goodness, we got a box of those. So that's this, huh?
Now we'll go back to our Bourekas lesson. Cool. So, I am just going to flour the table very lightly.
Okay.
Now, are you following me? You are.
I am. Now I'm with you. So I'm going to flip this off because I had to put it back on the parchment, but I can flip it again and get it going now.
So how does the dough feel now? Is it warm or is it nice and?
No, it's cool now.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we're gonna do basically this is approximately a 14-inch by 14 square. It's slightly rectangular, but we can always widen this a little bit.
Yeah, mine's a little longer now because I stretched it.
That's okay. It's no big deal. I mean, you're gonna get less more filling to dough ratio, which might be a good thing.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna cut these. Did you get that square?
I did.
All right, cool. So those are all gonna be the same size of our Bourekas. So each one is basically gonna start off as a square. One is gonna be folded into a triangle, and one is gonna be folded over into a rectangle.
Okay.
Now, what I have, because I'm lazy.
Oh.
Alright. So this is a great tool to have, mostly for our use for bakeries. But I mean, if you're an avid home baker and you want to get yourself a basket, it's a great thing.
But I can just use my pizza cutter, right?
What's that?
I could just use my pizza cutter.
You can use your pizza cutter, but I'm gonna go fancy with this one. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm just cutting squares. All it is basically just running along, just like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the imperfect.
So you see that? And then I can do a few more squares. Yeah.
Wow.
Just run along this side. All right.
No.
Oh, okay. Come on over here, bud. Come say hi to everybody.
I hear the voice of a helper.
Yeah, that's little Adrian. Okay.
Of a future baker superstar.
Oh, he'd definitely eat it. He ate like 3 things this afternoon already. Okay,
right.
So I've got my squares set up.
Okay, so how are your squares coming out? Pretty good?
Yeah.
All right, because mine are perfect.
Yeah, mine are not perfect, but they're good enough.
All right, so what we're gonna do next, now I haven't sent you a brush. I don't know if you have one.
I have one, yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of a beaten egg to brush along the seams, and this is gonna make it a little easier to basically connect these pieces to each other.
Okay.
All right, so just a little bit of egg brush. Now we're gonna make, I got 7 pieces over here. I'm gonna make 4 potato, and I'm gonna make 3 of the cheesecake. So for the potato, all I'm gonna do is brush very, very lightly with the
just one side?
Just one side, exactly. Because that's going to be folded over itself.
Okay.
All right.
And you're just doing just one like little edge, actually, not even the side.
Yeah, right along here, just like that.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my potato filling. So you see it's still nice and warm. And I'm going to pipe along right down the middle.
All right. Potato, got it.
Nice. All right, let's see.
I'm making mine's a little squiggly. I hope that's okay.
It's going to be all right. Once it bakes, it's going to be fine. Now, if you need to add some more filling, oh, I like your technique. Very nice.
Thank you.
I like those swivels.
Yeah?
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
All right.
Okay. Well, that makes sense now.
But I'm flipped right now, probably. That's how you're seeing it.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So now, once you have those piped and filled, basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to take one end and I'm just going to close it over the other end.
Just in half, kind of, right?
Yeah. I'm going to wait for you to finish those off, and then we'll do those together.
Okay. Yeah, you have a little bit more practice. How long have you been baking? Your whole life?
No, actually, no. I've been baking. Let's see, what is it now? 7 years, approximately like that. 7, 8 years.
All right, cool. I'm ready.
All right, you ready? Oh, cool. You're already beating me, so I'm gonna rush.
Well, I can do a couple more on this.
All right. I got my potato Bourekas all lined up here.
Okay.
All right. Now, we're going to move on to the cheesecake and cherry one. Before we're going to finish them or garnish or anything, what I like to do is, first of all, get the dough shaping part out of the way, since you already felt how soft the dough gets.
Yeah.
All right, so now, for the cheesecake and cherry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to egg wash one side and then the other, kind of like in a, I don't know how they call this, like kind of like an L shape, or just like that.
Okay. And egg wash is just the beaten egg. It's nothing more than that, right?
Exactly, yeah. It's just a fancy name. We call it egg wash, but it's just beaten in.
Okay.
Just
I love the sweet ones. I mean, I love the savory ones too, but
yeah, the sweet ones are always that that final touch, and they kind of get that point across when you're done eating them.
yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pipe a dollop, like right in the middle, and this is about, I would say, 2 tablespoons approximately. You don't want to overfill them. I mean, it's a lot of times we tend to overfill these and then they kind of explode in the oven. So you want to avoid doing that.
Okay.
So resist the urge.
How does this look? Is this a good amount?
That looks pretty good, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks great. And now, have you received that gift of cherries that we got you?
I do. I have these.
All right, so those are really good cherries, and cherries obviously are in season right now. We do like to work with seasonal products. We do, have a lot of seasonality in our range. Whether it's new tarts that we make regarding, the fruit that are in season, we kind of change it up, or any fillings or any babkas and halas from the market, and whatever it is that we're making at that time. So what we're going to do is we're going to use cherries. Now these I've just pitted.
Oh, you have the fresh cherries. Oh.
Yes.
I have both. Okay. Yes, I got those.
You got those?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you can use, in this case, you can use fresh cherries. You can use amaranth cherries. Now, amaranth cherries are slightly sweeter, but their baking capabilities are slightly better because they don't have as much water retention. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place a few cherries, or a few quarters of cherries, right into that filling, just like that.
Okay. Yum.
All right. It's going to be really pretty, especially once we add the element of heat. So once it starts to bake, those cherries are going to expand. They're going to take a little bit out of their juices, and they're going to color that dough really, really pretty.
Nice. And I'm going to do a couple with the jarred and a couple with the regular.
Sounds good.
Yum. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be eating the rest of these cherries today. That's for sure.
All right. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a triangle out of this. I'm going to take that edge and I'm going to bring it over to this edge.
Okay.
Just like that. And then I'm going to press that down a little bit. Just like that. Right over here. Press it down. Now when you press this down, press lightly. You don't want to press too hard because then you're crushing all those layers that basically are the distinctive feature of puff pastry dough.
Oh, okay. So just kind of let it lay there.
Exactly. So at this point, we're almost there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to transfer these onto trays. So I have a tray that's ready for us. I'm going to wait for you to finish those off before I show you the finishing.
I'm all set. That's it.
Oh yeah? Beautiful. All right.
And so now we're going to transfer?
Yep. So now you can transfer them. Now what I would do, you can either transfer them all to one tray or you can freeze them at this point and bake them off later on. But before we do that, we're just going to apply a thin coating of egg wash on them. And that's going to help, first of all, retain the moisture and also give them a really beautiful shine. So all I'm doing is I'm just brushing these with some beaten egg or egg wash.
On all tops. You're egg washing all of them?
Yeah, I'm going to egg wash all of them.
Okay. Great. And so when how many of these have you made, and what's like your favorite to eat?
My favorite to eat. That's a good question. I think the potato is a great one, honestly.
Yeah.
It's really comforting, and there's something about the potato filling that really kind of gets that point across.
That's the one I had for lunch.
Yeah. I hate the spot.
Sandwiches.
Alright, how you doing over there? Very nice. Egg washing skills are up to par.
Oh, thank you. Been working on it. I egg wash in my free time.
That's what I do in my free time. Alright.
All right,
So
great.
I've got this really cool mixture of nigella seeds and sesame seeds, and we've sent that over to you.
Yeah, I got it. Well, and I've got it in 2 parts. Should I put that together?
Yeah, so I separated it for you just in case, some people don't like necessarily nigella and sesame together.
Oh, I love it.
Sesame people and some are nigella seed people. At Red, we're a nigella and sesame people. We kind of like them mixed up together. They complement each other because the sesame has some sweetness and the nigella has a little bit of a peppery taste, which kind of really goes together. So just for our potato Bourekas, I'm just going to sprinkle some of these right on top. They're going to be nice because every bite you're going to taste the potato filling, the nigella seeds, the sesame seeds, and it's all going to go together really, really well.
Nice, okay. Oh, they're so pretty.
All right.
And are you going heavy on it, or is that's about right?
Say that again?
Is this about, or should I put more than this, or is that about right?
That's pretty good. No, it looks good. Honestly, you could put as much as you like. What I would suggest is taste a little bit of the nigella and sesame mixture and see if you like that flavor, and if you do, just add more.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Cool.
Oh, they are peppery. I like that. Okay.
Yeah. So at this point, our Bourekas are ready to go. Now we can either freeze them, we can bake them right off. I do recommend putting them at least for an hour in the fridge. Just
For now, so now
like these,
even before you bake it.
What's that?
So before we bake it, we freeze it.
Yes. I mean, you can refrigerate it. Is what I'm saying. It's just relax the dough a little bit. Just give it some time to relax the gluten.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you bake at 400.
Yeah, and then we're going to bake it at 400 for about 15 minutes to 20 minutes, depending on your oven. And at that point, your Bourekas are done. Now, try to let them cool down a little bit. Because it's really difficult to get all those flavors when they're still super hot. And I actually have some that are made.
That's what it's going to come out. There's the magic.
There's the magic. And now I want to show you another little kind of garnishing trick for the cheesecake. And what we're going to do is we're going to place them on a tray.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to grab a little bit of powdered sugar. Powdered sugar always goes a long way. And we want to distinguish them as being, you know, something that's a dessert or something that's, it doesn't have to be a dessert, I mean, it is sweet. So.
And just give it a good sprinkle.
Just a nice little touch, you know?
Yum.
All right.
See, that's the one I've got to taste yet, so that's the one I'll taste on camera.
Oh, nice. Well, let's taste one together.
Sugar.
So, I'm going to slice one open.
Yeah.
Show you what I'm talking about in terms of the layering and in terms of the filling. So you see, basically, we have our filling,
Yum.
our layers, our cheesecake filling, and our cherries all in there. So basically,
Yeah. Oh, that's some good stuff.
I'm going to take my mask off to eat this.
Edan, I haven't eaten like this in a long time, but it is worth it.
Me neither.
It is so good. Oh my gosh.
And I swear I don't do this often.
So now you guys have, like you said, you just do Bread's Bakery. You can go to your website, nationwide, y'all ship, and it gets there. It's fresh. It really is like next level. And I mean, you guys make everything. You make a bunch of different stuff. It doesn't just stop at these pastries. You have the breads, right? Tell me all the products that you have.
Oh my God, we're going to be here till tomorrow. But we have all of our, basically we have ranges of products both from the savory and from the sweet department, and bread, and salads, and quiche, and whatever your heart desires really, you know, and during the holidays we change it up. So obviously we're making our Bourekas, we have our chocolate babka, our cinnamon babka, cookies, we have our croissant. You notice our croissants are beautifully layered. Chocolate rugula. We got our plain challah, baguettes, sesame challah, festive challah with seeds. Everything is made from scratch, and everything is being done on these premises, and you know, with a great team, obviously, that does this all day long.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Well, thank you so much, Edan. This was such a treat to be able to cook with you. Our Easy Eats just got easier. Thank you very much. Make sure you all check out Bread's Bakery. You can see the website right there, the handle, and you can get to their website. Yep. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to try not to eat anymore, but it's not looking good. It's too delicious. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Enjoy. Bye.